Hello again, and welcome to another exciting, jam-packed month's worth of drum lessons. How exciting! The aim of this month's sessions, in the first session, we're going to have a quick recap of where we've been. Then we're going to develop the 8th note grooves we've already worked on. We're going to look at 16th notes, at semi-quavers, and looking at semi-quavers on the snare drum, applying those semi-quavers onto the hi-hats and working through some new grooves, etc. with the semi-quavers. And then in the other session, the one that's going to follow this, we're going to change time signature and look at 6/8 time and start investigating things with that. Okay, so first things first. Last month we looked at crotchets, quarters. We looked at 8th notes, which are the quavers, and we built our beats along them. Got the crotchets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Got the 8th notes, the quavers. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. This month, the 16th, the semi-quavers. Here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Just slow that down. Slow the tempo down for you. There we are, that's better. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Starting with the right hand. If you're right-handed, we're going to be leading with the right. If you're left-handed, swap this over and lead with the left. Playing the 16th notes, semi-quavers on the kit. Start with the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. On the 8th notes, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Here we go. Always best to start off slow. Just testing you out on that one. Always best to start off slow. Here we go. I'll take a tempo down to about 80. Get it comfortable rather than starting off up there where I started. Start it off slowly and get comfortable with it at that speed. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and a 4 and a. Nice and even. We're not like this. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Nice and even. Playing with the wrist, not the arm. One of the biggest lies you can tell yourself is that playing faster is better. Okay, in some sort of styles, when we move on to some of the metal styles and all that, you have to be able to play it fast. Of course you do, but don't kid yourself that straight away the best thing to do is you have to do everything fast. Because what you'll end up sounding like, instead of really controlled, when you control it, you start moving it up, maybe 5 BPM at a time. If you try to do it too fast, like I did at first, okay, here we go. That's 120 now. If you haven't got used to it at a slower speed, you'll end up losing it like that. A couple of exercises to get you used to the 16ths and get the 16ths in your head. Going back to the Guildhall book again, on page 4, we're just going to go through exercise 3, which is at the top. Instead of there being 4 beats in the bar, like we've done so far, there's only 2 beats in the bar. So we're set at 120 BPM, like it says at the top. Okay. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Get the rhythm in your head. Start with number 1. Okay, do number 1 again, and I'll count out loud with you so you can follow along. Here we go. 3, number 3. Here we go. On number 4. Right, second exercise to go through with you, which is a bit weird for me because you can see me and I can't see you. We're going to do this, the duet at the bottom of page 4 in the Guildhall book. I'll play as the top line A, you play as the bottom line B. The parts that I don't play, obviously, when you're following along, that's when you come in and fill those gaps. Some bits we play together, some bits we play by ourselves. I've taken the tempo down slightly. It doesn't tell us which tempo to play this at. We're going to play this at 110. Here we go. 2, 1, 2. Okay, I'm going to play that again. See if you can follow along from the top. This is duet 3 at the bottom of page 4. 1, 2. Okay, now that you're happy with 16th notes and you've got those in your head, the semi-quavers, what we're going to do is go back into the Rhythm Revolution book, onto the page with the 8ths and 16ths, and looking first of all at number 5. What number 5 does is number 5 develops the groove that we did last month. Last month we were looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and playing 8 notes on the hats. What we're going to do this month is double up on the hats. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... Okay, there's 2 ways of doing things. Some people play 16th notes just with the right hand. You can do it that way. What I find is when you play a 16th note groove on the hi-hats or on the ride or wherever you play it, and you're just doing it one-handed, it sometimes sounds a bit stiff, a bit rigid. What a lot of people like to do, which is the way I'm going to do now, is to play it both-handed. So the way you were playing it on the snare drum, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, on the hats, looking at number 5 on the 8th and 16th grooves, this is what it should sound like. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2. Okay, you've probably heard of this song. It's a song called Run to the Hills by Iron Maiden. It's not the exact groove that they play, but I've just changed it a little bit so that it fits in with us learning this particular groove. Here we go. Just start with the hats themselves. Get really comfortable with that. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a... So, doing it this way. That's your standard feel onto the 16ths. Okay, what's the point of playing 16th notes? Well, in your grooving, when you're grooving with 16th, sometimes it's great for introductions, sometimes it just helps a song along, sometimes maybe for a middle 8, something like that. Often, what you'll hear on a lot of tracks the 16th, what a 16th note does in the groove is it really helps things to move and it really helps the song along. So even when, as a drummer, you might be playing 8th notes, there might be a tambourine going chicka chicka chaka chicka 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 chick on top of that to move things along. All right, I'd like to unpick number 5 for you, because the thing you'll find hardest, first of all, as you're playing it, is everything you've done up till this point, you've been hitting the snare with your left hand. Now, you're opening up and you're going to be hitting the snare with your right hand. Okay, so like we did with the 8ths and 16ths last month on number 1, we'll build it up starting with the hats. Here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Once you're happy with that, nice and even. We're not doing this. Nice and even. Bass drum on 1, bass drum on 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. Okay. When you feel comfortable with that, and a 3, we're going to put a snare on 2 and a snare on 4. Here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and 2 E and a 3 E and a. Again, start slow. When you get confident, you can start developing it. But building it up slowly works well. Now, what you'll probably have done is this. Everybody does this the first time they do it. The string I was talking about in month 1, when we were having your right hand and your right foot working together, what we need to do this month for this particular groove is we need to cut that string, because I bet this is what you did. I bet you went. So on beats 2 and 4, because you're bass drumming your right hand, you've now learnt your groove, so you do this. So whenever your right foot moves, your right hand moves, you like that. I bet you did that. If you didn't, well done. If you did, what you've got to do is cut the string between your right hand and your right foot, because when your right hand comes down on beats 2 and beats 4, your right foot needs to stay still. Okay, so here we go. 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2. Okay. Now, like we did with the first groove, what I always want to encourage you to do is not to just get stuck into one way of doing things. For example, what we did last month is we moved this groove around the kit. We moved it from the hats to the ride. Moved it onto the tom-tom. We did mic stands. We played the wall. We played that mic stand. Hope I haven't broken it. Okay. What I want to do is do exactly the same thing with the 16th notes. Right? Once you've mastered it like this, be brave. I'm going to move on to these 2 tom-toms in front of me. Here we go. Sounds cool. Onto the right in the hat. Okay. What I'd like to do is demonstrate what that can sound like when you get really confident with it. All right. Start off slow again, like I said before. But I'm going to play around the kit. Nothing more complicated than what you've just done. Number 5. I'm just going to play number 5. The only difference being, like I've just shown you there, my hands are going to be on different bits of the kit. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Get a bit more confident. Here we go. Okay, you get the idea anyway. I know there was a song, I can't remember what it was called. Cameraman. What was the song called? The Papa Roach song. The Papa Roach, My Life into Pieces. Last Resort. You see, value for money there. You don't just get me, you get a beautiful cameraman as well, giving you drum lessons. The Last Resort track, the Papa Roach track, started with a really defined. Go and have a look on YouTube for Last Resort by Papa Roach, and it sounded like that. And when you hear it, you think, whoa, that sounds fantastic. But it's really nothing more complicated than we've just done in number 5. Fantastic. Hope that was helpful. What we're going to do is we're going to move on to session 2 for this month now, looking at 6/8 time. See you soon.